the 24th, 2021. We were called to order our special call meeting for the city of Statesboro. We'll move to agenda item number 2. But prior to that, let us, we're going to go ahead and do the normal invocation and pledge, even though it's not listed. Does either one of the council members want to lead us in that, or would they prefer for me to do it?
You can do it.
Okay. If we will, let us bow our heads. Dear Lord, we come before you with bowed heads and humble hearts. Dear Lord, we come to you with the understanding that our destinies are intertwined within each other. Dear Lord, we ask that we are giving the wisdom and the guidance to be able to make decisions that's best for everyone across the board within our city. And dear Lord, we come to you humbly asking to guide our steps as we move our city forward, dear Lord. Dear Lord, we pray for peace and healing across our community, the nation, and the globe. And dear Lord, we ask for your divine wisdom for us to be able to accept those things that we cannot change, but the will to be able to change those things that we can. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll move down to agenda item 2, which is consideration of a motion to approve vaccination incentives for the city of Statesboro, Georgia. Mr. Penny, if you will you give us some insight into this?
Good morning, Mayor. At the council meeting, I think it was the first council meeting in August, Councilmember Barr asked me to look at some incentives for vaccinations. And we did some, we gave some thought to what kind of incentives we thought would be incentives that might get people moving to get vaccinated. But we also thought about not just wanting to incentivize those that have waited to get vaccinated, but also incentives that would reward those folks that have been vaccinated since January 2021 going forward. And so what you have before you, and you should have, and I'm going to flash it up on the screen. So what really gets people, and I don't know that it'll move those that are anti-vax or not, but when we thought about it, we looked at it in 2 different categories. Talking about people from 18 years of age and over, and we talked about monetary gifts, and some of this goes back to when the president came out and said, give everybody $100 to go get a vaccination. Well, when we look at our city, if everybody went and got vaccinated, we'd be talking about in the neighborhood about $3.2 million. And when we look at ARPA funds, which will be available, that we believe our ARPA funds could be used for a long-term impact on our community. So giving everybody $100 is not something that I would want to recommend doing. But we can also use some of those funds that maybe provide some financial benefits. And all people would have to do is simply go online, let us know they've been vaccinated, send us a copy of their registration of their vaccination card to be considered for an electronic drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we sat down with staff, we talked about what kind of funds could we see that would make an impact in our community. So what we have before you today is a package that's going to cost about $50,000
Mm-hmm.
to the city. And so we looked at it again for people 18 years of age and over. And then when we looked at the monetary prizes, we looked at if you had a drawing of, say, 20 drawings at $500, you're talking $10,000. If you did 5 drawings of $1,000, again, that's another 5,000. And then if you did one grand prize of $5,000, that in itself is about $20,000 total. And all people have to do is let us know they've been vaccinated. And for those that have not been vaccinated, all they have to do is finish their vaccination by whatever the deadline is going to be, and they would be eligible for these cash prizes if this is the direction that the council wants to go in. But we also looked at it from the standpoint that people 12 years of age up to 17 are also eligible for vaccinations. And so we were trying to figure, and what we've seen is, we've seen at least 2 states that have done $1 million lotteries, scholarships, $120,000 scholarships, and we aren't able to do that. But when we were thinking about young people, the question was, well, did we want to provide them with cash incentives, or did we want to provide them some things that might really interest them, that might cause them to put a little pressure on their parents? And so, and again, I don't have children this young, but when we sat down and just started brainstorming, we were thinking about every child doesn't have a laptop, but to make available like 5 laptops for drawing. Video game consoles. Now my staff has cautioned me about calling out a particular name because some of these video game consoles are very difficult to get. I mean, you have to give up an arm and a leg to get a PS5, and so we would look for those types of games. Then these kids like, young people like, don't want to call them kids, these young people like headphones and the Beats headphones. So we'd have 10 of those. The Nintendo Switches are popular as well, 5 of those. And then we talked about 10 Apple AirPods. And so that's a cost of about $15,000. So far we've shown you $35,000. So with those in mind, if council is inclined to make these available, the question that I would raise is, would we also want to try to tie it to a percentage of vaccination in our community? Right now, in the county, and it's hard, you can't segregate the city from the county, but in the county, we're at 26.75% fully vaccinated. We're at 29 point something, almost 30% with 1 vaccination. So do you tie the cash prizes, or even the prizes for the youth, to getting that percentage up? It doesn't have to be 50%, but if we could move toward 40%. But that's a decision that the council, or if you don't want anything at all, that's clearly up to the council. There's not a playbook for this at all. But again, the thought is, our interest is neighbor to neighbor, family member to family member, to say, I got a chance to win $5,000, and you just need to take your rump down there and get a shot. So we're creating stress among family members, but it's good stress, because we need people to get vaccinated, because right now what they're telling us is this pandemic is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Yeah, there are breakthrough cases, but in our own hospital, we're at 95% of the people on the COVID ward right now are unvaccinated people. So we need to get people vaccinated, but at the same time, we just don't want to reward people that have waited to get vaccinated. The other decision that the council would need to make is, it would be for city residents And then I would also recommend city employees. We have city employees that have not been vaccinated as well. There was a thought about county employees, but I do not recommend, county residents, I do not recommend, I would recommend that we limit it to city residents and city employees.
Okay.
Because with city employees, most of them are gonna be outside the city anyway. The other opportunity, we spent about $35,000 at this point. We're gonna have a vaccination clinic on September 1st, from 9 to 11. And the question was, did we want to have some incentive to get people to come in? So what I looked at was what it would cost. So if you gave the first 200 people that came in to get vaccinated a $50 gift card, that's $10,000. And so next week, if council felt so inclined to try to get, the health department's gonna be here, they're gonna be prepared to give 200 shots, and does $50 move anybody to get a vaccination? The $50 would get them in. If they get the Johnson & Johnson, then they are ready to register for the bigger prizes. If they get the, because it's one shot, but if they get the Moderna, then they have to get that second shot. So they wouldn't be eligible to register for all those other prizes until they got the second shot. The other question would be, if you did this, would you care whether someone that came in and got vaccinated was from just Statesboro, or if someone from Bullitt County came, would you then want to accept, say, no, you're not eligible because you don't live inside the city limits?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd promote the first 200 people that got vaccinated, whether they were city or county, would be
Mm-hmm.
eligible for the $200. But again, that's a decision that the council needs to make. So some discussion points. Again, the proposed eligibility would be city of Statesboro residents, and city of Statesboro employees and their families. And then, do you want to try to reach a 40 or 50% fully vaccinated inside the city, in Bullitt County, for the cash prizes to be available? When we looked around and trying to find other examples of, I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen anything like this, except in North Carolina and Ohio, where they did the $1 million lotteries. I think they either had $4 or $5 million opportunities where people actually won $1 million. They also did $4 or $5 $120,000 scholarships for young people that got vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Those were real people that got that money. And so what we have seen in Georgia, I think the city attorney provided some information to us. I think it was Macon County.
Macon-Bibb County.
Macon-Bibb County. They offered $500 for every employee, public employee, county employee, that got vaccinated. They would pay them $500. Total amount, $800,000 out of their ARPA funds, to incentivize people to get vaccinated. The challenge is, for Macon-Bibb County, they're gonna get $75 million in ARPA funds. And so to pull $800,000 off of that $75 million, it certainly wouldn't have the impact that it would for us. We are gonna receive about $12.3 million. And again, our employee base for the city would be 310 employees. That'd be about $150,000. But again, I'm not recommending that to you today. These are items I'm recommending to you for your consideration, and we just simply need your direction. I'll also say to you that if this is something that you do want to do, when I make a recommendation to you, we don't necessarily initiate the implementation part of it. So if you approve this today, you're gonna have to give us we gotta have a little time to be able to implement this. Our first thing is that if you want to do the $200 gift cards, first thing we gotta do is we gotta be able to get those. And so if that's something you wanna do, we need to know that today so that our finance director can, because the banks aren't sitting there with these $50 gift cards, they would have to order them so that we would be able to get them and have them available for the clinic that occurs on September 1st. Can I answer any questions?
Council, any questions?
I'm just
Mr.
curious.
King,
Go ahead, John.
thank you. Mr. King, just wanted to double check all this money would come from the CARES Act, money that they have already reimbursed us, correct?
These are funds that we received, that we were reimbursed from the CARES Act. And so, yeah, these are funds that we already have on hand.
Okay, thank you. I'm in favor of extending it to all Bullock County residents and city employees. And I think 50% is a good cutoff until we can reevaluate. 50% of, our citizens being fully vaccinated, and then reevaluate if we have, if we still have money. And we can do the gift cards, anything we can do, to get people. I'm for the gift card, whatever, on the outside side. Would like to ask a question, which I know is gonna run through some people's minds. If I show you my vaccination card, where are you gonna keep that information and who are you gonna share it with?
Okay, that's a good question. First off, we have identified, what do we call it, Wayne?
It's an online fillable form that's secure. It's also HIPAA compliant, so it would be confidential for people to upload their information to, and it would be secure.
Mr.
Okay,
Wade, did you hear that?
Yes, sir, I did, but just double check, we're not gonna give the information to the health department, to the, city, to the state, to the CIA, to anybody. We're keeping it all ourselves.
Right, and honestly, there'd probably be one employee that would have access, there'd probably be one employee, except for the fact that we would have to make provisions, because we have to recognize that everybody's not technically savvy and might not have access. So what we would have to do is we would make available on the first floor of City Hall, and this is something the finance director needs to know, where if someone that doesn't have access, but they want to be considered for a drawing, they could bring in their card, vaccination card. They fill out documentation. We would have staff enter that and a copy of the vaccination card into the system, and they don't have to, we don't want to keep it, we want them to take the information back, we just want to get it into our system.
Gotcha, okay, so, the information's going nowhere and staying with us, and it is secure.
Yes, and this is not something that we have available to us, that's on our system. We will actually have to purchase this service, and to make sure that it's HIPAA compliant. And once the drawing is over, we would eliminate, but the cost to the city is about $20 a month, in order to have that service available to us.
Okay, and I'm gonna get asked this question, so I'm just gonna ask it directly. If I'm a city employee and I'm working with my buddy, he can't find out if I've been vaccinated or don't want to get vaccinated, so.
No.
So, I don't want anybody to be shamed.
No. We.
No way that can happen, okay.
No, we encourage people to get vaccinated, but to this point, we're not mandating our employees to be vaccinated, although, this is a serious matter. But we're not divulging that kind of information from one employee to another, no, not at all.
Absolutely, 100% agree, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Penny,
Yes.
this is Shari. I apologize for not being able to be there in person. I'm sitting out front in my truck because I'm awaiting COVID test results. I am well, but I'm being tested because I've been exposed. Mr. Penny, talk more about, you said you would need some time to set up. As I texted you, I think it's, everybody, I think it's very important that we institute something as soon as possible and do staggered drawings rather than waiting until the middle of October for there to be any reward for folks who want to go get vaccinated today and tomorrow. How quickly can we get it online? And do you anticipate any difficulties with trying to do it quickly and staggered so that it's a building prize, so that you're getting small prizes every week, building up to a big one maybe in Thanksgiving time?
Yeah, again, I need to have time with staff to work through an implementation process. I would not anticipate us being able for folks to download information this week. My preference is to under promise and over deliver. And so we need to make sure that the online system that we are gonna have available, we've got to upload rules and guidelines, and we need to make sure that everything that we put in that system is approved by our city attorney, because somebody's gonna challenge something. So we need to make sure that we have all of those things in place. The first thing that I would propose is, if council is so inclined to do the $200 gift card, is to have that be the first thing that people can do, and that will be next week. But as soon as Lane and our city attorney are clear on the rules and the guidelines, and we're ready to publish those things, I just don't see that happening before the end of next week, which would be the Labor Day weekend. Because we just need to make sure that we're clear, and that we have things well thought out. I'm okay with, if council wants to give things periodically, that's your call. To keep the interest going, I think that's okay. But I just think we need to be practical and not rush things to a point that we mess it up. So first thing I would do is, if you want to do the $250 gift card, that would be the first. That would be the first thing. So we get people lining up for that. Okay, and then as soon as we have all those things that are in place for the online registration, with your vaccination card, the legal questions that I know Lane has raised to me, as soon as we're satisfied with that, then that would be the next piece. But we need to give people adequate amount of time so that we don't get 50 people registered and then we're giving away a $500. So the odds are real good if you only get 50 registered. We want to see quite a few people registered online before we start giving away $500 prizes.
Mr. Penny, you said end of next week you thought you'd have, right?
Right.
So then that's Labor Day, and then we have a meeting on the morning on that Tuesday.
Right.
So do you think you'd just be presenting a plan to us at that point? Because I got to imagine we're spending over $20,000. We got to have a written plan in place. We can't just say do it. So do you anticipate having a more checking out the tracking system, being able to do all that, maybe even putting a copier down in the lobby so you can photocopy the ID forms, setting all that stuff up? You're going to think that out?
Yeah, we can take that out, and I'm okay with coming back to you at the council meeting with the written plan. Yes.
For the giveaway.
But the first thing without a written plan is the gift card.
That was next. I got a couple of them. As far as
I'm confused, because what we're talking about now sounds like we're pushing it out another 2 weeks before we're even telling them that it's okay to start this. I'm concerned that we want to do something as soon as we can. So help me understand what we're saying now about pushing it out until the next council meeting. Does that mean it's 2 weeks after that before we can start giving any money away or giving any prizes away? Because if we approve today, Mr. Penny, if we approve today, in theory, what you're presenting to us, then you can go ahead and contract with the website, get it downloaded, figure out how to do it, and tell us how quickly we can have it online and start publicity, tell people, show us your Vax card and get in line to win a prize.
Okay, I'm gonna let.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Sherry, he doesn't have, I mean, if I'm correct, Mr. Penny, you don't have how we're gonna do a drawing just yet.
Right.
You don't have that laid out, you don't know how we can track people, you don't know, we don't have that lined up, we don't have something in the lobby set up, so to do a drawing at this point, the operation is not set up, correct?
Right, well,
That's good, that's all I need. So for the gift card, right? I'm sorry, there's two different things. You got the gift card and we get the drawing, right?
well, let me go back to you.
Okay.
Let me go back to your question. We know the system that we would use.
Right.
We have not purchased that system
Right.
because y'all haven't told us it's okay and you want us to.
Right,
But again, we have some legal things that the rules and guidelines need to be in place. And so I wouldn't want to have a drawing
right.
until y'all have seen those guidelines. And so we would be ready by the end of next week. We could start registering people and y'all can see the guidelines on September 7th. But that wouldn't hit. We can purchase that system as soon as Kane and them approve the wording.
Right.
But we could bring you a documented system for the meeting on September 7th.
Right, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. So that's what I'm trying to confirm. We can approve something today, so you can go ahead and purchase it and get this upfront stuff figured out.
Right.
So that we allow people the opportunity to begin registering and being in line to win prizes as soon as possible.
Yes.
So that's what I want us to do. The other thing is, one of the concerns that you raised, or one of the questions you had for council was, do we want to tie it to achieving a certain vaccination rate? Because you're hopeful that will encourage people to encourage other people.
Right.
I hope that it will, I hope that people will encourage other people, but I think we'll get better reaction if it's not really like, oh, I might win something, if enough other people. I'm concerned that the folks we're trying to persuade are somewhat disaffected and distrustful anyway, and so I want to make it as clear as possible. I don't think it's wise to tie it to the vaccination rate. I think an individual needs to hear, if I get my vaccine, my name's going in a pot that I might win $500 or $1,000 or $5,000. So I think it's unwise to tie it to the rate going up.
Well, we need to tie it to something, because we can't just have 10 people get vaccinated and then give out $20,000. So we gotta tie it to some performance metric.
I think we need to have dollar limits and time parameters. That you gotta get registered, this contest is going until the end of November. And then we need to tie it to a certain number of prizes and a dollar limit. But I'm not concerned about folks who won't show up and will give away too much money. I think people are there, because we're leaving it open for everybody who's been vaccinated. We're gonna have plenty of people sign up and want to get a prize.
Councilwoman Mack?
Okay, so I do understand what everyone is saying, but I wanted to chime into what Shari was saying. I do think that tying it to a vaccination percentage is kind of good, because then people would be like, hey girl, I got vaccinated, go get vaccinated. Once it gets to 50% or whatever percent we say, then we can win more money. And I have some other notes that I wanted to chime in on just while I had the time to talk. So for you said for the first 200 people, the $50 gift card, I think that's really good, and I think that it shouldn't matter if they are from the county or from the city, because you don't want to get somebody to come in and then you turn them away and say, hey, oh, you're from the county? No. But I do agree that if you don't live in the city, then you can't go for the drawing for the big amount of money. It's just not fair. Like, we are the city of Statesboro. Yes, we love Bullitt County, but we're the city of Statesboro. So if you come in and you want to get vaccinated, great. Here's $50. Thank you. We appreciate you, but you can't go into the drawing. And that's just my thoughts, and I'm willing to hear whatever council has to say about that part.
I think Mr. Riggs said something.
Yeah, and also, one more thing, guys, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, one more thing. I think, I'm gonna say this the nicest way possible, please don't hold this against me. But I think that this campaign should be for newly vaccinated people. People who have already been vaccinated, I have already been vaccinated. We did a great thing. We are not the problem. We are trying to get more people vaccinated. So if you got vaccinated early, thank you guys, we did the right thing. We did a great thing. But our problem is the people who are not vaccinated. Those are the people who can spread the vaccination more. Yes, we can get it, but there's a lot of people who are not vaccinated. So I think that we did a good thing and we should just know, hey, we did something great. But let's focus on the people who are not vaccinated and get them vaccinated, because if those people get vaccinated, then the rate will go up automatically. So I'm willing to do whatever the council says, but those are just my thoughts on it. Sorry, but we did do a great thing and we got vaccinated early. Kudos to us. We are super people. But what about the people who are not vaccinated? Let's focus on them.
I think we're dealing with, we're dealing, here is the thing, is that if we tie it to the vaccination rate, we don't have a way to extrapolate that city data. That's the problem that we have. We don't know how many people inside of the city are vaccinated or not vaccinated.
Correct.
The numbers that we're looking at is based on the county, right? And so, you know, we have 33,400 some odd people that live inside of the city, but when you're up in that 80,000+ range far as the entire county, that's a tough road to hoe. When we're looking at how do we bring up that overall rate for vaccinations. Now, we can do the math and say, well, if we had 1,500, 2,000 people that lived inside of the city, that would affect, that would get our vaccination rate up to X amount. But what my thought process is that, yes, let's set a goal. But I think at that goal, there needs to be a grander prize that if we hit this number, then you're eligible to win this thing. And what that thing is, we don't necessarily have to come up with today. But we can let staff work together and say, well, okay, if we hit that 40% mark, then you get a chance to win this particular prize for everybody. But I think setting those short-term, those smaller, more achievable goals, I think that's going to allow us to be able to get more people there. I think Shari is right in the sense that people are going to need to see things happen a little bit faster in order for them to really buy into this, that it's real. So I think the opportunity for us to do those gift cards, that's low-hanging fruit for us. If we're giving away $250 gift cards on September the 1st, if you come in downstairs, head into the parlor, get your shot, and head out the door, I think that's going to be, I think that is awesome as well. Hopefully that day we're using Johnson & Johnson. So that way we know when they walk out the door, they are fully vaccinated when they walk out the door. So I think it's a combination of things. I think that we do need to have those earlier prizes, and then maybe, and I think that if we're able to get that kicked off on that first week, maybe 2 to 3 weeks in, we may be able to do some drawings for some of the other prizes, and then 2 to 3 weeks after that, we're able to do drives for the other prizes. And then if we hit a certain goal, then we have a grander prize at the end. That way, is everybody, everybody's getting a little something, and people are continuously motivated. With that being said, there's going to have to be a marketing campaign for this. This is going to have to be, it's going to have to be an organized marketing campaign. So we need to look at some of our local marketing companies to become partners with us on this. And I also think that this has to be coupled with another campaign that is very specific to our healthcare workers. This morning I had the opportunity to go out and visit the hospital, and I went into a ward, where they literally had 12 people on ventilators just on that floor. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a very serious. Talking to those nurses, seeing the tears well up in their eyes, have one nurse literally tell me that she had a colleague that they had to pick up off the floor, because she was in shambles over a patient losing their fight to COVID. I think that there's gonna have to be another campaign that shows that we support our healthcare workers, our frontline workers, because this is devastating, to them, and it's wreaking havoc within our community. So we need to go ahead and make some decisions as to how we want to get this rolled out, and how we can continue to get the greater community on board.
I'm inclined to say that I'm in favor of rolling out those, $200 gift cards, that initial incentive just to get people in here to get them vaccinated. But I'm also in favor of, coming up with guidelines that we can actually follow. Give them something now, but let us, take our time to put a packet together that's gonna, work for our city. And at the end, I do think that individuals who has already been vaccinated, along with the newly vaccinated people, should be a part of that grand drawing, not the initial, but that grand drawing. I do think that you should be a part because you did your part. You did your part. So, and that's the message that we're trying to send out. Everybody needs to do their part. And if you did your part, you shouldn't be excluded from that grand drawing. But initially, I think that, putting out those $200 gift cards to get these people in here to get vaccinated, that's what we need to do initially. And it gives the staff enough time to come up with a plan that we can use for the long haul. That's my take on it.
It's $250 gift card.
$250 gift card.
$50.
Okay, $250 gift card. Let me get it right.
Well, I'm about to get in line. But you already got yours.
Don't get everybody too excited. They spent all of Mr. Penny's money.
I do
And the city manager.
Yeah, I know it. We're not eligible for the good stuff.
Right, but listening to Councilwoman Shari says that, and maybe that does make more sense, that they get into that grand prize, and what you were saying, that once our vaccination rates get to a certain number, we can do the grand prize. So could we maybe do that $5,000 being the last thing? Once the rate is up,
Well,
then everybody is included in that.
If I may, it sounds like we've got a lot of different structures for the, I think we've been presented with a lot of different structures for the contest.
Right.
And I think that's something that Mr. Penny needs to take back, deal with Kane, hire the tracking agency, or the app, or whatever it is. Set up a thing downstairs to scan, you're gonna have to do all that, because you can't just say, oh, bring in your vaccination card, and all of a sudden 400 people show up with their vaccination card. How are you gonna manage that? I do have a question about September 1st, though. It's only 2 hours. Is that gonna be enough time to have a real impact? I mean, and the only reason I say that is because we just went to get vaccinated this weekend, and just getting one shot took like 10 minutes of paperwork and things like this, so.
If they have 200 people, they're not going anywhere. They're gonna bring enough dosage to give 200 shots.
Okay.
They're not gonna go anywhere.
And then the only other suggestion I would say, a nice balance between maybe city residents and everybody in Bullitt County, maybe offer it to our water customers. The point being is that those water customers would already be coming into the city, and we wouldn't be attracting everybody from the county and exposing our city staff to that potential volume of people. I still think those are folks that work closely with the city. It broadens the footprint without expanding it hugely and creating a massive amount of traffic for our staff. So just a thought. I think we can easily get 200 people just from the city itself. Then the only other comment I had, sorry, Mr. Penny, is as far as the percentage is concerned, is there some way we can do a numerical number instead? Like if we do 500 new vaccinations, then
That's a good.
That's a
that's
good-
Because
That's
there's
good.
no- there's no other way.
track that.
Then you can track
Yeah,
it
you can
because
track it.
we'll be doing that.
I
So,
like that
But
idea.
I'll leave that to you to put in your plan that you'll present to us on the seventh.
And you know what, that's something that the community can contract too, because we can put that on a thermostat.
Yeah.
And as we are getting shots in the arms, we can literally watch that go up. And then when it reaches the top, then boom, whatever that grand prize is gonna be, that's what it's gonna be.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean, oh, yeah, I
So
know.
Mayor, I heard you say something. You
Yeah.
said you were thinking a little bit bigger.
yeah,
I ignored them when he said it.
yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
So does, Shari, does
So
that
you
all
gotta
sound
share.
good to me? We'll do the $50 gift cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna share.
We'll do the $50 gift cards and then empower Charles and the staff to come up with a comprehensive contest that we can then unveil in 10 days, 11 days.
Is waiting 10 days going to delay our ability, how soon we can let people start registering?
Well, we don't even have the software yet, nor a process to gather people coming in.
I
So
hear
I think we gotta have a process.
I hear you. What I understood earlier, well, I'll let you answer, Mr. Penny. Go ahead.
Again, I was waiting for today before Lane I would allow her to purchase the capacity to be able to start gathering that information. And then, again, getting her with our city attorney to make sure we had our rules and our guidelines set up. I think getting people, if y'all approve this program in principle, then I think we can start gathering that information and not have to wait 2 weeks to start gathering the information. Because you're gonna give something away. I think you're gonna give away the $50 gift cards right up front. But somewhere down the line, we're gonna be giving some of these other things away. We need a process that, we're gonna do these things. We got to see about, we don't wanna promote these things unless we know we got a PS5 in hand, because we can't promote that and then have a child win it and we don't have one for them. We need to know that we have the Nintendo Switches, we need to know we have the Apple AirPods, all those things we need to have in place. So staff, last week when we were working through all this, that was part of the question. We need to know if these things are things that council wants us to move forward with, because we know there's a supply chain issue, and we need to go out and start doing it. But if y'all tell me to wait, that's gonna compound it a little bit more. But if you agree with this in principle, then you give me direction and staff direction to go out and start trying to acquire these things that we can promote.
Okay.
I have a question about the prices. I don't buy these things or haven't recently. Are they roughly in staggered value, or the least expensive up to the most expensive?
Yeah, the laptops will be up there. The video game consoles, they were like $4 something, but now you're saying for $1,000 because they're so hard to get. The Nintendo Switches are like $300. The AirPods about $200 a piece. The Beats are in that same category. I mean, they're expensive.
All of it's expensive. There's no inexpensive prizes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about trying to make it parallel to the adult contest so that the bigger prizes are what you get at the end.
I'm sure the kids wouldn't mind having these amounts of financial,
I
but
mean, the AirPods and the Beats, any kid is gonna, if they don't already have them, dig one of those,
yeah,
For sure.
I'm excited about the
Air, all kids, anything up there on that.
They say I'm a grandfather, and I can tell you that Nintendo Switch, my grandson.
Mhm.
Yeah, they love them, yeah.
I want one.
You too.
But I do think, again, I was hoping the council was gonna say, we wanna go with this.
Yeah,
And if you wanna go with that, I need to know, because we have to get rolling.
okay.
In addition to everything else we do in our day job, This is an additional thing that we just gotta start pumping energy into.
Okay. So is there any further comments by council?
Yes, my suggestion is that we go with what's been discussed so that we're approving it in principle and saying, go ahead and buy the system so that Lane and Kay and whoever can figure out the language and how we want to do it, and go ahead and start acquiring the prizes for the kids, and then you're going to come back to us with the details at the council meeting about how you propose it should work. Excuse me, hopefully at that point, we'll be able to say, start uploading. That y'all can maybe be in place by then to say to our citizens, if you're vaccinated, start uploading so you can start winning these prizes very soon. Is that, am I understanding correctly? Is that what's helpful?
I'm assuming it would be great to set up like an email account or something like that so people could, or are they gonna be able to scan them directly in, or they will? Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, just-
Unless they don't have that ability to do it online and then.
Then they can bring it in or send you an email or.
And that's when we would have the capability downstairs for them to bring it in so we can get it in and help them.
All right, and so, all right, and
So
so,
I have one thing.
okay, John,
Will we be including, Georgia Southern OTC in, East Georgia?
if they live in the city,
If they live in the city or have a water bill,
So we're not extending it out to the county?
No.
Well, what Phil has proposed is that we try to do it by water customers, but I'm concerned that might be kind of a logistical nightmare to tell who does and doesn't have an account with the city.
well, we have our billing people will be able to do that. I mean, when you come in and get, yeah,
Yeah, I'm asking.
sorry.
My view is that, I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
I'm gonna
John.
talk out there.
Go ahead, Mr. Kenny's consulting with finance, and you go ahead.
Who, me?
Yes, please.
Okay, my view is that, most people that work in the city of Statesboro come from outside of the city of Statesboro.
Yep.
I don't see why we shouldn't offer to everybody in the county.
I'm okay with that
That is
too.
all.
I don't agree with that.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I feel that the county can do a campaign just like we're doing a campaign. I think that we have to worry about the residents in the city of Statesboro.
I want to say for the record, I agree with what I heard you say earlier about I'd rather do direct incentives to newly vaccinated people, but I'm kind of bowing to what I assume is the will of the council, that we got to reward people who already did it, but I'm with you.
I did agree
Benefits
too
of all.
with Councilwoman Shavers, maybe the last grand prize that everybody could be, in there. But if we're trying to get people vaccinated, I think that we should focus on people who are not vaccinated at the time.
Or I feel that if we're gonna extend this out to the county, because I'm not trying to exclude the county, I think the county needs to come in and pitch in some of this money to help fund some of these prizes.
Now, I'm okay
Now,
with
if the
that,
county
too.
is not, inclined to do that, then, I think we should focus on the residents in Statesboro. I think that's only fair. I know the county's got some funds that they can put aside.
So clarify for me, what we're discussing now is
Would you like a motion?
newly, well, no, I want to hear what I'm voting on first.
Well, that's what a motion's for.
Okay.
we're not ready for that yet.
Okay.
What we're talking about right now, Sherry, is just county versus the
Okay,
city.
so let's mark through this. Shari, do you want to include the county?
I'm okay with including the county. What I'm not clear
Is
about is,
that-
are we talking about everybody who's been vaccinated or newly vaccinated? That's my question right now.
For what we're getting ready to do, however we end up with it, do you want it to include the county or exclude the county?
Include.
Okay, include the county. Venus,
X.
exclude the county. Paulette,
X.
okay. Phil,
No.
X, okay. All right, John,
Include.
okay. So this is gonna be, so whatever we do, it will exclude the county, okay? All right, next thing that we need to look at, on September the 1st, we will be ready to go with the 200 situation, correct?
Unless, yes,
Okay.
but we gotta order those cards today.
Okay, September 1, we are good to go on the 200.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so for the prizes, Are we including or excluding, on the initial round of prizes, those that's already been vaccinated, or, and those that aren't vaccinated? Sherry, do you want to include those that's already been vaccinated, or do you want to exclude those?
Well, the problem is the way it's structured now, we might not get enough to make it a good pool if we try to do it just newly vaccinated. So the way it's structured now, it needs to be everybody.
Okay, so include it. Include or exclude, Councilwoman Mack?
I need to ask the question, are you saying for all of the prizes or just
For all of the prizes.
For all of the prizes, I think that it should be newly vaccinated people. If we have a grand prize of, like the last prize, I'm okay with including everybody, but I think our goal is to get people vaccinated, so we should stick to the goal.
So exclude.
Excellent. Yes.
Okay, all right, Councilwoman, Shavers,
Include.
include. Councilmember Goyer?
Well, Mr. Mayor, what I'm looking for actually is to have maybe Charles and staff put together 2 or maybe even 3 possibilities for how we can manage this contest. They got a couple weeks to do that. They can figure out what they need to do with the registration. And they can even see like maybe a financial impact outside of what we're doing. I want to do the gift cards. I think we should do that right away. I'm with Shari. We need to get people moving as quick as possible, but I don't know that we can, you know, we're almost talking about like the rules of the game here. We're trying to write the rules of Monopoly while we're sitting here. And I'm thinking it might be just better to have Charles and Kane and the folks that.
Okay, what they need is direction.
Right, and I think we can give them direction.
Do you want to include or exclude vaccinated or versus non-vaccinated people?
Well, that's
in
what
the
I'm
school?
telling you, I think it could be a
Okay,
combination.
so do I need to come back to you and go to Councilman Riggs?
No,
I say,
Okay, what would you like to see, Councilman Riggs?
include.
Okay. So include, so we got 3 individuals that say include, so it's going to be include, okay? All right,
Mr. Mayor,
yeah,
when I say include, I'm saying that for the drawing, for the 5,000, 1,500 in the laptops and all that.
yeah, that's how I understood it.
Oh, okay, but not the gift cards.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
see.
No, the gift
yeah,
cards for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
The gift
Okay,
cards.
the gift cards are for
Okay.
that day, yeah,
For that
okay.
day.
All right, so you say you understand that, Mr. Penn?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just,
All right.
but I want the public to understand that someone that's already been vaccinated can't come up here.
Yeah, they can't come up and get a gift card, yeah,
It's all gonna
absolutely,
be people
absolutely.
getting vaccinated.
Okay, all
Mr.
right,
Mayor,
and so,
I'm sorry. With the discussion that's gone on, if there's still the possibility of coming back with a plan to reward newly vaccinated first, and then let everybody go into a drawing, if everybody's already vaccinated, I prefer that. But it sounds like I need to change my vote.
okay, repeat what you just said.
Mayor.
Okay, I asked her to repeat what she said.
So if there is the possibility of having the contest be such that newly vaccinated people get rewarded in the early stages, and that everybody who's been vaccinated can be in the drawing for the grand prize, that's my preference.
That's what's going to happen, that's what the intent is right there.
You kind of worded it different.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
No, everybody's, for the grand prize, everybody's gonna be able to be a part of that.
So what is this
Yeah.
question that you're
And
asking
so
right
what
now?
we're talking about are these initial prizes right now. That's it, what Mr. Penny has laid out, that's the only thing. Because we hadn't even decided what that grand prize is going to be.
So that's why I'm confused, because I thought the grand prize was the 5,000. That's,
No.
so I'm confused.
Well, no,
All
what I'm
this grand
saying, what I'm saying is.
Yeah, all of that is the grand.
No, what I'm saying is, when I said that we needed to add an extra piece to this, I'm saying something beyond that 5,000.
Oh, so I wasn't
So
on
like,
that.
so,
Oh,
and
I
so
wasn't
when we
talking about-
connect, so let's say we say the goal is 40%, and we hit that 40% marker, then we have a bigger carrot out there. For individuals to say, hey, look, because the 5,000 is already in that. What I'm saying is we need to do something beyond that to say, well, if we hit that 40% mark, then you get X, Y, and Z.
Okay,
Wait,
I
so
was totally,
these not
I
grand,
was,
these not
yeah.
grand prizes?
yeah, so I was totally.
I thought these
Yeah,
were grand
I'm
prizes.
sorry.
Yeah,
No.
Okay.
okay. All right.
So
May
I
I,
want to say
uh,
that I do
Still
like
want to talk.
what is I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
I like this plan that you have drawn out.
Yeah.
I don't think that staff needs to go back. I think what Phil is saying, if we can do it in sections, then maybe it will be better. Like starting off with the gift cards on September 1st, step one. Step two, maybe draw a line in the middle of the prizes, and then having a grand prize at that last thing of $5,000. I'm just saying that because that was the last prize. So if we have one person or however many, it was one person for $5,000, right?
Yeah, one person.
So one person, everybody in the city of Statesboro, if you have a water bill too, gets in that drawing. If you vaccinated before or after that, you get into that one drawing. But I think these incentives, these prizes should be for newly vaccinated people. This is just Venus Mac opinion. So I like this, staff, Mr. Penny, I like this. I think that we should do it in sections, section 1, section 2.
Yeah,
Now,
and so, and so that's what I understood you were saying, is that you
Yeah.
wanted it for newly vaccinated people, and that's the question that I had.
Right, newly vaccinated,
Yeah.
but the grand prize,
It's for every,
whatever it is, 500, whatever it is, everybody.
exactly, and what I'm suggesting is that we connect the prize to the percentage as well.
Correct.
You know, in addition to what we got there. So that's what I'm
So
saying.
are you saying another prize?
Yeah, that's connected directly to the percentage goal. Or
So then
not
that
the
would be a whole nother
percentage goal,
conversation
but
that we would have to have.
but that number, we said if we're going after 1,000 new people to get vaccinated,
Right.
and we reach that 1,000 number, then there's another goal, then there's another prize if we reach that. All of
So
this-
not the 5,000?
Not the 5,000, something beyond that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
So I
we-
was understanding it like she was understanding. I didn't know it was another additional prize.
Okay, that's fine,
I
that's
thought that
fine.
was, you know,
Yeah,
I thought that was a lot.
I like 5,000. I could get vaccinated one more time and get in the 5,000.
yeah. All right, go ahead, Mr. Penny.
Looks like they still had something to say.
Okay, so now, again, when I would do whatever council ask us to do. But again, if you only want those previously vaccinated to be eligible for the 5,000, again, when we came up with the plan, that I wasn't thinking in terms of that, but if that's the only thing you want previously vaccinated people to be eligible for, out of 26 prizes, then let me know. Because, you know, even those that had previously been vaccinated, would have been able to compete for a $500 prize. Now, we can come back and look at some that would be totally for those first-time vaccinated people. But we'd have to think through that.
I think we're saying that we want it to be for newly vaxxed people, even if you need to stagger the more prices smaller. And I like what Councilwoman Mack said. The other thing that I would add is that we want to be building. We want it to be not just 3 steps. We want people to hear, oh, I missed it. So-and-so won $200. Oh, I might can next week. We want it to be, to build some excitement by having the prizes more often, is my thinking. I'm sorry, I'm missing some of the conversations.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead then. I'm going to make a motion to approve the vaccine incentives for the city of Statesboro with the following conditions. One, the gift cards that you wanted to give out on September 1st, we go ahead and do that. 200 in number at $50 in value, for a total of $20,000. And you, right, isn't that right?
10,000.
10,000, I'm sorry, 10,000, my bad, bad math, my bad. Designed for newly vaccinated people that are residents, city staff, or water bill customers, or utilities customers. And then the second phase of that would be approve in principle the incentive program with the prizes, such that Lane can purchase the appropriate, this is a long motion, hope you're writing all this down. So Lane and Kane and staff can do whatever needs to be done, with the idea that the contest would be tiered, AKA when we hit certain goals, we would give out prizes. And with a combination of those prizes going to both newly vaccinated and the larger prizes at the end being available to anyone in the city who's vaccinated. Is that good enough? Do you need more details?
I think you missed
I
something.
mean, that's.
What did I miss?
I think the.
Oh, what I wanted you to do though is put together a plan for that and outline it. Do we need numbers?
No. For the September 1st, I thought that was everybody could get vaccinated, no?
No,
Oh,
No.
September 1st?
Yeah, September 1st is, my reasoning on that was, again, so we don't get everybody from the county, but just the folks that are normally coming here anyway.
All right, I'm good with that, if we can get a
Anybody
motion.
that comes in for a vaccination, we give a $50 gift card
Correct.
on September 1st.
Anybody?
Well, anybody, because
Now, I'm asking y'all that.
Anybody who's
I
a
think it.
resident, staff, or water bill customer,
I think it
city
should.
resident. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I think it should be anybody can get the $50 card, but they can't get registered into the software that Lane is gonna get for the rest of the drawings if they don't live in the city. Cause I don't like turning people away. I don't wanna be mean in someone's face.
I'm afraid you're gonna have a mob saying you're September 1st.
that's a good thing.
And it's the first 200 people.
That's a good thing.
And I mean, we wanna vaccinate everybody that we can, but 200 will get $50.
Do you recommend the entire county or just city residents and staff?
Just for September 1st.
I recommended the city limits and city employees,
For September 1st.
Period.
period.
Okay, let's do
Yeah,
it.
that's all I agree.
Yeah, that's what I agree with too.
Okay.
You wanna leave water bill customers out?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that just, I mean, that shrinks my pool, not
It just
increases it.
complicates it.
Yeah, it makes it too
It
complicated.
it makes
Yeah.
it more complicated, and I was just checking with Ms. Cindy, and she felt like most of our customers are gonna be inside the city limits and the water
Yeah.
system.
Okay. All right, and so here is, I think that we need to, you know, as we're doing this, I think we need to have a grand prize, that's connected to a, percentage goal.
The number.
Yeah, that number. And do we know with this campaign, idea of how many people, newly vaccinated people we wanna get? Do we wanna say 1,000? I think 1,000 new vaccinated people during the
think
course of
that's
this
good.
campaign? Is that a good
I
number?
don't know, but I have a motion on the floor.
Okay, it's not been second.
Second.
Is there, is there?
Second.
Okay, now
Oh, but we still can get to this.
we can discuss, yeah.
Yeah, okay. With that being said, I add on of the $1,000 number of folks.
To the motion that's
Oh,
already
to the
on the floor?
motion?
It-
Oh.
Yeah, see, and that's what I was saying, is that we really need for you to pull that motion back, because we're not really ready for it. And we
Well,
have not
my
done
motion
that.
actually includes that, Mayor. I
Okay.
gave the power to the city.
There's no way, I literally just said that, so
I
it
gave this-
couldn't include it.
You said a grand
I
prize.
gave the city manager charge to come back with a plan and a proposal and with the rules and how, if you want to give away more money, that's certainly fine.
Okay. For the sake of,
But we don't
conversation,
know how.
can
It's just
we pull the
conflict.
motion back until we're all clear? Can you withdraw?
We can discuss the motion. That's what we're doing.
Okay,
Motion, second, we discuss.
okay.
We're
All right.
discussing.
So as of right now, we have a motion that includes, water customers.
No, I pulled that part.
Okay, so prior to, when did you pull it out?
He pulled it.
Okay, he pulled it?
He pulled it.
Okay, all right, my bad. All right, so what I want to be able to do is add the piece that we suit for 1,000 individuals. And then if we're able to get 1,000 people vaccinated, there'll be a grand prize of $10,000. That people can, that if you've been vaccinated, whether you're newly vaccinated or old vaccinated, you can win $10,000.
That's open to everybody in
And
North
that's
County
open
who's
to-
vaccinated.
That's open to everybody in the city of Statesboro. Yeah.
I would say that fits within my motion, which is charging city staff to come up with a
Okay.
plan, including prizes.
Do we all agree with that?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so I have a question though, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Kennedy.
So Mayor, and actually, y'all, it's your prerogative to do
Mhm.
whatever. 1,000 newly vaccinated people would be really great, but we got a much larger number out there.
Okay, what's the number you?
And I'm not sure what it is, but when we think about our community, you know, 1,000 is, we ought to be able to do a slam dunk
Okay.
with 1,000, but if we're a city of 30-some thousand people, and right now we're at 26.75% with the county.
With the county, yeah.
Being fully vaccinated, I just question, I mean, just ask you for, no issue with the $10,000.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a
You wanna raise
number.
that number.
I wanna raise that number to
Come
raise
back
that.
to us with a number.
Okay.
Come back to us with a number. And then that way we have a big pot at the end that if we hit that number, and that gives the community something to go after as well.
The other thing you'll know, you're gonna get a reaction from what you're doing here today.
Okay,
I mean, how many meetings do you have? 2 TV cameras
okay,
at your meeting to see, and you're gonna hear from the community
yeah.
whether this is
We
something
know.
that really drives, but I think us having a chance. And then on September 7th, you're also gonna see whether it had an impact on September 1st.
Okay,
Because on September 1st, if we have 200 people waiting to be vaccinated, you will have had a success. And you
Okay.
might decide after that, excuse me, about to use a bad word, man.
yeah, that's okay.
You might decide we want to do another one of those.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you certainly have that prerogative to do that if that's going to drive people to get vaccinated.
Okay. All right, good deal. All right, and so we have a motion. We have a second. Venus?
Second.
Okay, Venus is already
I
seconded.
do have a question to staff. Does our motion, does my motion, our motion, whatever, does that fit with what you need?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, discussion, did John have any comment while we're discussing? John, do you understand the motion or have any comment about it?
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm ready to vote.
Good, thank you.
All right, we good? We good? Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve?
So,
Is there, well, all those in favor, I'm sorry.
Aye.
All right, good deal. All right, council, y'all done good.
Mr. Mayor, we're gonna talk a little bit more about other COVID stuff while we're gathered.
Go ahead, Ms. Barr.
So I want everybody who's listening to know that all of us up here and staff are very well aware of the problems and where we are now and the rising numbers and the challenges with getting tested. I think we still have sufficient supply of vaccine, but testing. So I want folks to know that we are trying and working with community partners to try to expand testing opportunities here in Statesboro. Do we have any update on that beyond just that we're trying and working with community partners?
You asking me?
Yeah, if there is anything more available right now.
No, I don't know. I have a call at 1 o'clock today with community partners, and I'll discuss in more detail with them. And Dr. Parks is on that call, and Cindy Hart's on that call.
Dr. Parks is the regional.
She's in charge of this region. And then the other piece is, I don't know if this location is the only one in Bullock County. I don't know. And if it is,
It's the only one for the health department.
Right, it's the only one for the health department, then we do have an issue. But again, a month ago, we were talking about closing that down.
Yeah.
And now we're testing over 1,000 people a week.
That lady sat there for 2 months all by herself, that
Right.
poor thing.
I've seen it every day. Like my business was right there. There was nobody going in that
She's
line.
busy now.
She was tearing up that tomb land. And so that being said, that's me and Venus joke. But with that being said, I think that we're in a very serious situation, and that's why we're here today. And right now, the Mayo Clinic is projecting that our community is, and that's Bullock County, right now, the Mayo Clinic is projecting that we're gonna have, by September the 4th, 296 new cases per day. That's where we are. When we first started this thing out, having numbers like this, we couldn't even fathom. But over the course of the weekend, we had 335 new cases. and I believe it was at 191 or 198, I'm sorry. We ended the week with 198, nearly several days with 200 new cases per day. We currently have 60 individuals in the hospital, 18 of them are on ventilators. Our medical infrastructure is being pushed to the brink. And this is something that we talked about early on. And the one thing that I'm extremely proud about this council is that we dealt with facts. We did not, we never jumped out, we didn't jump on the bandwagon of all of what the pundits said. We listened to the medical experts, we listened to those individuals that don't do this for a living. And what these people are telling us right now is that we are in a very, very, very fragile situation as far as our medical infrastructure, and that our numbers are going to be, are forecasting to go up over the next time period. With that being said, we have to do our part to work to save our community. Is there anything further from the council before we bring this meeting to an adjournment?
No.
Maybe just call attention to the fact I had to educate myself over the weekend. Delta's a little different from the original COVID. I'm not a doctor, I can't tell you, but the symptoms are often different. It's often like a bad cold, it's upper respiratory, it's a sore throat. I know it's frustrating to not being able to get tested, but if you have symptoms or have been exposed, please stay home if you can. Because the original, one person who was positive infected 2 or 3 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Delta variant infects 8 other people. And oftentimes even before they're sick enough to know they have it. That's why it's spreading so fast. So let's all do our part. And yes, you can still get it if you're vaccinated, but you're much less likely to get very sick. It feels the same the first couple of days, and then the defenses kick in and you overcome it. So get vaccinated, do what you can to protect yourself and other people.
And if you've had COVID, you can still get the vaccine, and you can still get COVID, so get the vaccine. It will actually, if you've had COVID and you have symptoms, it can actually help mitigate some of those symptoms as well.
Yeah.
So it actually benefits you if you've had COVID and you're not vaccinated to get vaccinated.
Exactly, yes, and there is a caution there though. If you have had COVID within 60 days, then how you might have been treated can affect the efficacy of the different vaccines. So if you've had it within 60 days, talk to your medical provider about which vaccine and how soon.
I'm gonna add these 2 little things to this, and then we're gonna get out of here, because I know y'all too hungry. One thing that we got to be abundantly clear on is that 95% of the people that's in the hospital are unvaccinated. 95% of the people that are in the hospital are unvaccinated. We need to be clear on that. The next thing that we need to be abundantly clear on is that, yes, people that have been vaccinated, we do have those breakthrough cases where they become sick with the virus. But their likelihood of survival is that much more. So we want to be abundantly clear on that. What we are seeing right now is a pandemic of the unvaccinated people. And so that's what we definitely wanted everyone to be aware of. With that being said, council, thank y'all so much. I know this has not been the easiest 18 months, but thank y'all so much for all of the work that you guys have done. And all of the punches that you guys have taken. You guys, I really thank you guys. So with that being said, stay sterile, mask up, get vaccinated, stay safe. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Go, favor motion.
Am I?
How much enthusiasm. So I wish all the other motions got that much enthusiasm.